I think as a curler growing up in Alberta or Canada, it's every kid's dream to win the Brier. So in 1966 we won our first Brier in Halifax, and it was an incredible feeling, and I thought at that time that it was the ultimate. But I learned later when we represented Canada at the Worlds that when we won the World and the ceremony and the flag raising and whatever that goes along with it, that was for me really the ultimate. It's certainly different than it is today. Back in those days when I first started curling, we played on natural ice. So, and being in southern Alberta, we had to contend all the time with Chinooks, which often ruined a weekend bonspiel or weekend high school spiel would be canceled because a Chinook hit and conditions would be unplayable. And I can recall when I was in high school playing in a men's bonspiel. I had an opportunity to play with a couple of curlers that have been helping me get introduced to curling. And Chinook hit, so what they did is they'd close the rink down tight in the morning, keep the weather cold, and they'd open up the doors about 10 o'clock in the evening, and they'd start curling at 12, midnight, curl through the night. And that's the only way you could get the spiel done. So I mean, nowadays curlers wouldn't even dream of doing anything like that. The biggest change is ice conditions. It's the number one thing I think that I know. It's just, and it changed the game. It changed the game whereby they had to go to the 4-rock rule where you can't run the rocks off the front end of the ice. Because when we were playing with the curl and the ice and the different conditions, there was always rocks in play and there was always rocks out front. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't necessary, but when they perfected ice, it got to where teams perfected their hitting ability, and they'd go out, whoever won the toss would just go out and they could essentially blank every end and then just draw for one in the last end, win the game 1-0. And there were, for a short period of time, there were a lot of games that were maybe not 1-0, but certainly 2-1 or 3-2 or whatever. And nowadays you rarely see a low-scoring curling game. Well, I think that it's certainly a real honor, and I was very, very excited about being nominated and then being accepted to the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame. And I think it's just nice that people recognize some of the accomplishments that we were lucky enough to do in our days. So it was certainly a big deal for me.